Welcome everyone to Tarot and the Moons. My name is Ingrid. Let's get started. If you find this video long, you can always speed it up by going to the YouTube setting and speeding up the video. Now, this one might actually be a long one because we have a full moon lunar eclipse. It kicks off here in the Northern Hemisphere on September 7th. And this eclipse season will go on until springtime, 6 month period of time. So pay attention. Again, with a full moon, it's all about awareness and realization. And as you know, when I am dealing with the moons and tarot, the reason why it's the moons plural is because Vedic astrologers are telling us that this full moon is in the astrological placement of Aquarius. Tropical astrologists are telling us that this full moon is in the astrological sign of Pisces. For me, the moon is the portal of manifestation of our emotional power point, and I believe our emotions are swinging between these two power points of energies, of the Aquarius energy and the Piscean energy, and that is collectively as well as individually. And for me, when we're talking about this kind of combination, the moon and the stars are for me a spiritual connection. And it's my belief system that the moon and the stars are a way to connect to higher powers of the universe, reflecting both the idea that we are part of this cosmic, larger cosmic order. And I'm speaking about this in terms of the cosmology of the universe because I had the weirdest dream. And I usually when I dream, they tend to be prophetic. Um, but I rarely get these weird dreams about the cosmos, right? And so we are at this engagement right before this full moon lunar eclipse is going to happen. And last night I dreamt about us having to leave this planet and go through a portal. And it was pretty scary because it was a long portal. It was very, it just seemed never ending. But all we had to do was take our little suitcase, get in the suitcase. I'm telling you, it's the weirdest dream. And then have someone push us down this portal through our suitcase. And when I landed, it was really strange because I landed in a space where things were not as advanced as they are now in our world, which is saying a lot. So I think this dream was sort of us not being so curious about what's in the other realms, but being grateful about what we have here right now and to expect the miracles to occur on our planet. And that was a big one because the moon is the celestial body that's nearest to the earth, right? And in a way, she has a very special relationship with us here on earth. And it's important for us to continue to sort of be appreciative of all of the magic that's right here on earth, that we as human beings can experience and express with joy and a sense of love. And so I think the dream was like this collective engagement of people wanting to go see what's on the other side or see what's in the other realms, when in fact we are actually more advanced than what some other people or other interested parties would want us to believe. And by that, I mean that we have a soul construct. In other words, we are made of a soul light body energy that is incredibly valuable. And it is a gift. It's a gift for humanity. And so don't be so curious about going into the other realm. be more curious about going into the realm of who you are and how you were designed, which is to be a loving being. Okay? I just wanted to share that dream because, like I said, I rarely go into this state of this deep dream where it's so clear, and I just wanted to share my 2 cents on that because I think there's something going on with people wanting to catapult us, humanity, into the space of this other unknown realm, when in fact we need to explore more the human condition. So, in like I said, in Vedic astrology, our this moon um in, oh my God, Aquarius. And Aquarius is a fixed air sign. It's where our emotions are filtered through this intellectual space of detachment, right? Aquarius, often we may appear calm, we may appear aloof, we may appear rational, but we have very strong feelings underneath it all. And so there's an exterior yearning for this universal connectivity, this universal belonging, and this yearning for freedom of expression. And I think that's where the cosmology part comes in. There is also within Aquarius energy an emotional life that is tied to group consciousness and a visionary impulse rather than a personal sentimentality, right? And the esoteric view of this particular astrological sign is that on a soul level, the Aquarius energy governs the waters of life poured forth for humanity. So whatever happens between the 6 month period, water is an important aspect. And remember what Aquarius is. It governs the waters of life poured forth for humanity, meaning their emotions, the emotions of the Aquarian energies, are becoming purified when it's directed toward a collective healing and a space of higher service, right? So the true Aquarian path is emotional liberation from the egoic individuation into the group love. So think about what it takes to be in the space of a group love. And I'm just not going to mention some unfortunate global impacts that have happened that has gotten us into this unification field of group love, okay? And remember that Aquarius is also ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is about erratic behavior, sudden and unexpected happenings, shock, earthquakes are coming in, right? Lightning, electricity, anything that has to do with computers or inventions, airplanes, astrology is also ruled by Uranus. And so just imagine that those topics being part of the emotional stream for us during this time period, and in particular with the activation of this full moon eclipse season. Now, the eclipses shake the sort of it's going to shake the Aquarian sort of nature to want to control their emotions, because it's going to reveal some hidden attachments that the Aquarius uh, astrological placement has sort of suppressed, right? These hidden attachments or suppressed longings. And so lunar eclipses are going to really activate that for us. Now, when we hit this, and Aquarius, I said, as I mentioned before, is a fixed air sign. So there's a lot of stubbornness in the Aquarian field. Now, in contrast, tropical astrologers are telling us this full moon is in Pisces, and Pisces is a mutable water sign. And at its emotional core, Pisces emotions are boundless. It's porous. They can absorb the moods of other people, and they can also experience compassion, sorrow, and joy as if it was their own, right? They're very strong empaths. So we're going to be feeling the pains and the joys or whatever is coming through collectively. We're all going to be feeling it. We're all going to be deeply empathic during this time period. And what this means is that it's going to confuse the global emotional streams with our own emotions. So it's really important for us to ground, meditate, do what you can, do prayer work. I'm going to talk a little bit about prayer work in a second. Anything that is ungrounded is actually going to overwhelm us. From the esoteric viewpoint, right? This Pisces is this higher octave. And it's a higher octave where this Piscean energy dissolves this illusion of separation. And its emotional essence is sacrifice or to make something sacred, right? And it also is a spiritual union. So, together with that group love, we're also being called to be in union with our spirit. In this esoteric astrology perspective of the Piscean moon, it's representing the end of some cycle where our emotions are being transmuted into this divine surrender. Now, the eclipse is going to amplify the sensitivities of Pisces. It's just going to do it. And it's going to further create this thinning veil between the conscious and the unconscious. And I think that's why my dream was so palpable, because it was amplifying the sensitivity of this global collective engagement that is happening in a more nefarious perspective of wanting to push the collective into the space of the cosmos when in fact, number one, we're not ready, and number two, we haven't yet honored the human being. We haven't honored it. And I say this quite emphatically because it's kind of frustrating. One of the things that I'm doing with my tarot teachings, right, is to teach people to understand themselves through these archetypal lenses of tarot in order for them to love themselves more and to love each other more. When you start seeing that there's so much still to explore within yourself, there's little time for us to want to explore other beings or other consciousness. And it's really frustrating to see what's going on in the spiritual community where there's a lot of energy being directed outward of yourself into wanting to explore just the cosmos. And trust me, just it's not, I think that's what the dream was kind of telling me. Yeah, you can go through that portal if you want, but let me tell you something. You are the advanced being. You are the thing that's wanting to be coveted by others because of your human nature and your capacity to hold in this body this soul matrix that is so valuable, right? So incredibly valuable because it can emit love, right? So the lunar eclipses is going to release a lot of these karmic emotions that we have tied in together with this idea of aliens, not idea, I mean it exists, right? Or this desire to be out there in the universe, or this desire to connect with other beings. You can connect with yourself first, which is this other being, this soul matrix within you that you have not yet accelerated into manifestation. And these two energies, this mutable water, right? The ocean is part of this Piscean engagement. And then we've got the water bearer. And the water bearer, remember what I said before with this energy, it's carrying this water for humanity, right? For humanity. One of the beautiful things about the Aquarian energy really is that Aquarius is this water bearer that is really nourishing us through nourishing us, meaning nourishing humanity, the group, right, with water. And I think a lot of that has to do with us needing to purify our souls. Don't let your soul grieve because you're rejecting it in place of some cosmic being out there. Okay? So that's really important. And remember that with Pisces, unlike Uranus is actually really strong for the Aquarius, but Neptune is equally as strong. And Neptune is a planet that rules illusions, deceptions, confusions, denials, fantasies, dreams, right? That's why I activated already into these dream states. I'm curious as to what I'll dream about tonight, but it has to do with this higher consciousness and this devotion. It also has to do with cults and psychic abilities and spirituality, right? So all of these things are being eclipsed with the eclipse season coming upon us, but it's also being revealed, right? Because this is happening with this full moon engagement. And in the esoteric astrology, eclipses are not merely disruptive, but they are gateways. They are portals. And for the Aquarius and the Pisces, they what they're doing is they're unsealing these emotional layers that are going to help us shift from reactions um into the soul's purpose. That's how I'm seeing it. That's how it's coming through for me. And it's these reactions of wanting to detach from the human beingness, and that's also going to be cleansed, right? These reactions of wanting to detach. And rather, the eclipse season is going to really catapult us into the biggest universe, cosmic force there is, and that is your soul. Aquarius is going to teach us how to connect with our group love, and Pisces is going to teach us how to connect with our universal love. So, again, the human beings have to come together. And of course, our soul matrix has to be activated within our being. Okay? Whew. I don't know what I just said, but again, I will go back and listen to that to whatever I said. So, in my meditation, you guys know that I always go into meditation when I do my readings. And in my meditation, the word that came up was transitions, transitions. Um, for a minute there, I'm like, can I even say the word? Transitions. And in September, our intuitive guidance system is sort of bridging us away from feeling trapped, away from feeling like we can't do something, meaning we, the collective humanity, can't do something, to this feeling of being nourished, right? There's that water bearer with the waters and the Neptunian energies of Pisces being nourished with the waters so that we are willing to be directed in life into this power of illumination. And the power of illumination is coming from this field of your soul. Okay? So when we're speaking of this particular full moon, for me, what's coming through is that this full moon is making us feel determined. That's that willingness. And we've got the backing of emotional waters. Maybe that's why I've been feeling, it feels very strongly that all of my offerings with the tarot and the moons has been for this moment for some reason. And it's we're being encouraged to aim really high and hone in our executive abilities to respect and be a little bit respect ourselves as human beings, and to be a little bit more fantastical in the way of our associations with the universe and the cosmos through our soul connections. Okay? Now, when we're speaking about the eclipses, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the eclipses, for me, in my tradition, we do not look at the eclipse because it is eclipsing something, it is darkening something. So we are, in my culture, in the Caribbean culture, we are asked to activate the light within you. Again, that is coming from our souls. It is our soul and our connection to our soul that illuminates the light within us so that we become lighthouses. We become light beings. As our dark moon, they're calling this the the blood moon, but it's the moon darkens, the full moon surface darkens during this time period. And with a lunar eclipse, we notice that our feelings and our emotions are being altered a little bit. Really important again to ground. This is what I said earlier. I'm going to speak a little bit about prayer work because for me, I go into deep prayer work. You know what? I'm going to start reactive. I started it before where I was doing the prayer with everyone from reading from my whispered prayer book. I think I'm going to just reactivate that because we're really going to need it moving forward. But I want you to meditate. I want you to go into that still point. I want you to go into that zero point within yourself. I want you to go into that space of prayer when this full moon is fully activated, right? Because our emotions are going to be altered, but you will not be fooled if you activate the light inside of you. And introspection and meditation are the most important things you can do during a lunar eclipse, during any eclipses, right? It's the most important thing to do. It's not so much about writing your intentions or anything like that, but it's really about thinking about the collective, right? When it's a full moon, utilize the strength of this moon's light gravitational force, which is inside of you, to connect with your purpose to be a divine being here on Earth. During a lunar eclipse, it's important not to recharge your stones. Everybody knows this, not to necessarily be doing something new, but rather to mark the time of the month where you are illuminating any shadows and stay in your space of empowerment, right? Lunar eclipses happen only during a full moon, and that's when the earth, right, gets in between the sun and the moon. So the earth is the central figure during lunar eclipses. I just wanted to add that and say that because a lot of times people are a little bit confused and they feel like, oh, this is the time to empower, charge it up, and da da da. No, not for me, not in my book. The last time I did that in New York City, and I didn't follow the guidance that I had been doing for decades. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be able to see it in New York. Let me buy the little glasses so I could see it was a solar eclipse actually. The solar eclipse, so exciting, da 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 da. Right after that, the worst years of my life. I lost my mom, I lost my dad, I lost my dog, I lost the job I had before. There was a lot of uh loss in a very extreme manner. And so that's my story and I'm just relaying it because for me it's looking at the lunar eclipse, if you want to stay emotionally grounded, is not going to be a good idea, in my opinion and in my world. Okay. Now we are entering this. This is also marking the pivotal point of the autumn equinoxes. And what that means is that from this point until the spring equinox, we are going to be engaging these long days, long nights where the long days are gone, right? And we're going to spend a lot of time just being in the rhythm of the harvest autumn equinox. Okay? And so it's really important for us to know that this is a 6-month engagement. And with these equinoxes, there's a balancing of the light and the dark. And it's a great time to look at both sides of the light and the dark. Look at both sides of your own problems, of your own goals that you want to achieve. It's important to look at both the light and the dark, meaning the positive and the negative, meaning the pros and the cons in every situation from now until that spring equinox period. Okay? Also know that with this kind of an equinox, whatever you do during this time period, know this: what comes around goes around. So it's amplified. That is a cosmic law. That is a universal law. How you treat others, others will treat you. How you are with your work will be with you because, again, work or anything creative that you're working with, it has its own energy stream. So if you're disregarding your creative projects, your creative projects are going to disregard you in the next 6 months, right? It's just that simple. These are cosmic law, cosmic truths that are just there for us to remember. Okay? All right, let's go on to the next slide. I told you this was going to be long. Almost forgot. Just a quick reminder, when you get to that last quarter moon this month, right before you get to the new moon, this is the time of integration. So if there was something or is something you need to release or activate, this is the time of integration when you hit that last quarter moon. It's a perfect time to take responsibility for your actions, to let go of things that you no longer need, to activate something, and to go into the space of full understanding, okay? To allow yourself to release energies that don't serve you, and to also realize that in that completion, you are indeed whole and rejuvenated, especially because it's still within this window of this moon's eclipse energies, okay? And we are going to deal with a solar eclipse soon, but that's later in the month. For now, just let's one step at a time because things can be quite overwhelming. All right, let's move on to the full moon tarot players for this eclipse season, where the tropical astrologers say the full moon is in Pisces and the Vedic astrologers say the full moon is in Aquarius. Let's move on. All right, everyone. So here we go. We have a full moon. It is a full moon lunar eclipse, meaning the Earth is between the sun and the moon. So it's going to eclipse it. They call this the blood full moon. And our emotions are actually, for me, in my opinion, are actually going between these two archetypal patterns of the Piscean energy and Aquarius. Pisces ruled by Neptune, Aquarius ruled by Uranus. Okay, in Tarot, this means that Uranus, right here, is activating the archetypes of the Fool and the Star, which for me in my card deck, this is the Arcan Tarot deck. This is a letterpress deck. This is the Visionary for me. This is the Fool. And when we see the star, this means for me blessings. So when I do your reading based on your moon sign, you can use your sun or ascendant sign, but my focus is on the moon signs. Um, this means that this energy of the eclipse season, together with the full moon here, is going to be Aquarian in nature for you. Okay. And what does this mean? When we have the star card, this is about hope, recognition, inspiration, creativity, spirituality, positivity, faith, healing, rejuvenation, tranquility, enjoyment, faith, right? All of that. In its more challenging side, it's about hopelessness. It's about despair. It's about focusing on the negative. It's about having a lack of faith, having a lack of inspiration, boredom, right? So you want to stay on the positive flow of the star vibration. And if I pull the full card, which for me is the visionary, this is about innocence, taking a risk, originality, idealism, youth, spontaneity, lack of commitment sometimes, but definitely new beginnings. And on its more challenging side, it's about being foolish. It's about fear of the unknown. It's about being impulsive. It's about having poor judgment and taking a naive risk that will may put you in danger. And it's also about inexperiences, okay? So if I pull, one of these two cards, that's generally what these two cards mean. And again, it's ruled by Uranus, which is Aquarian in nature. And then we have Neptune. Neptune, of course, is ruled by or rules the Pisces astrological sign, but also the Hanged Man and the Moon. Um, and whenever we're dealing with the moon energy, we are dealing, well, let's start with, yeah, we'll do the moon. I should have started there, but I'll start here. When we're dealing with the moon, it is about lunacy sometimes, but that's on the more challenging. On the more positive, the moon archetype is about intuition. It is about dreams. It is about letting go of deceptions, fears, or misconceptions. It is about the subconscious. It's about insecurities sometimes when you get the moon. And just remembering that things are not what they seem, right? On its more challenging, the moon can be about releasing the fear, unveiling the secrets, regaining some sort of composure. And I say challenging only because in Tarot, they see this as a more negative frequency. So the challenges would be sort of more positive. I know it's reversed. But for me, it's basically all of the unknowns and all of the energies of the subconscious are coming to the surface when we pull this one. When if I pull the Hanged Man for you, the Hanged Man here is about discernment, but it's about, and again, these two, because it's Piscean in nature and ruled by Neptune, it's kind of like the reverse of what I would ordinarily teach in, let's say, a course or something. But for me, this is about discernment. And if you get this card, it's about feeling trapped, confined, self-limiting, uncertain about things, or having a unique viewpoint, having discernment, right? All of that stuff. And on its more challenging, it is about discontentment, apathy, disinterest, sort of stagnation, negative patterns, and detachment from the world, right? Which of course are all Neptunian qualities. Yeah, and that's about it. So I'll be pulling these cards, or these cards for you when we do the tarot reading. Yeah, that's about it. Hi everyone, here we go. This is a full moon tarot reading. I've already pre-shuffled the cards. I am using the Mystical Journey Oracle deck, as well as, let's get this over here, the Artist Decoded Tarot deck. I'm going to start from Pisces, work my way around and end in Aquarius. I will ask for you to please give me a thumbs up, make a comment. This actually helps the algorithm so I can get more of my content out there into the ethers and get people interested in listening to the guidance of tarot. All right, now let's get started. Oh, and when I shuffled this time, I was really asking a specific question of how you're going to be transitioning, right? Because that was the key word that came out for this particular full moon eclipse season, right? So, how are you going to transition during this time period? And what tarot players are and oracle decks are here to assist you in that transition? Okay? So, here we go. So this is for Pisces. You've gotten the Emperor. So Pisces for you, and one of the reasons why I chose this deck is because you will see that it doesn't have a face. It's really this artist rendering, and it reminded me of the eclipse a little bit. This is the reason why I chose both this Oracle deck and the specific artist decoded tarot deck, is because of the darkness that we can see. But for you, the Pisces energy with this Emperor engagement, this is a major arcana engagement, right? So for Pisces, and because of this bright red that we see here, I am being drawn here to the moon. So you're going to be transitioning from this heaviness that you've been feeling with the family dynamic to really focus on your emotions and what it is that you want to rule over and with, right? You want to rule with emotions that are loving, caring, at the same time, overlooking the family, but extrapolating from that the wisdom that you have gained. There is also here a strong sense of security and a sense of groundedness that's wanting to be activated with you when it comes to your emotions, right? And I say this again because we've got that red energy that is root chakra, that is ground your emotional streams, right? This energy of Piscean, Neptunian moon energy, and really ground it so that you can rule over or create your empire in an active way, not in a passive way, because what's coming through is that you've been very passive about your growth of your company or your growth of your artistic inclinations or your growth of your finances. You've been very passive and just going into deep emotional waters without actually rising from that, extrapolating what you've learned and making something magical out of that experience, right? So for you, this transition is going to give you a lot of structure, Emperor energy, a lot of security, Emperor energy, when it comes to your emotions. This is the moon energy coming forth, right? Also, your leadership qualities are being activated here. You've got that 18 number. So you are the leader in the beginning and the end. So looking at things from the minute details to its global perspective. And again, guys, these are going to be a little longer because we do have the eclipse season. So if it's too long, again, you can speed it up by looking by changing the settings in a section in the YouTube settings. Wow, so your energy is really it's time for you to manifest everything that you want. This is what's being activated for those of you with Pisces moon, sun, or rising signs. You are literally being activated into your manifestation field so that you can grow your empire and stabilize your emotions as you're doing that. Beautiful energy. Just holding that up. There's a lot of crown chakra activations here. Beautiful. And next we have Aries energy, sun, moon, or rising. If you're in Aries, let's pay attention to what's going on with you. Wow, can't make this up. Two major arcanas back to back. This is the moon energy coming forth. So this is very Piscean, right? Remember, this is Neptune energy. Very Piscean. I'm going to literally I'm gravitating towards this star energy here for you. So for the Aries, you've got this star energy and the moon. This particular moon and the rendition that I'm seeing is that there's a lot flowing out from you, a lot that's being, so I almost feel like there's mystical energies or mystical wisdom that's literally dripping into your crown chakra, into your emotional field as you move forward during this particular full moon eclipse season. And when we get that star vibration with all of this emotions kind of coming forth out of nowhere, but they're blessings. They're like, I want to say downloads in a way. There is just dripping information into your subconscious so that you can share it with the world, so that you can have this blessing and share it with the world. Beautiful. Inspiration. Yeah, you will definitely be getting inspiration with this moon energy, this Piscean energy. There's a deep, when we speak of the Pisces, by the way, guys, we're also speaking about deep creative thinking, right? Deep creative engagement, deep creative manifestations. People that have Pisces in a major aspect, like in their moon or in their sun or ascendant, I'm sorry, not Pisces, Aries. No, Pisces, because I'm speaking about Pisces and the moon. Um, they're very deep, very introspective, and very much can pull out of the cosmos, right? We were talking about the cosmos earlier on in this video. Pull out of the cosmos things that have never been seen before, and it is a star energy field coming forward. And you are being inspired, and that inspiration is, right? We see that spirit, that the fire energy, that inspiration is asking you to engage blessings with others. If you are, this is really funny, but you'll get it tomorrow. But if you're in my Crimson Rose Tarot course, pay attention to that movement because it's part of our engagement for what we're discussing. Sorry, that was just a tangent, but that specific movement that I've never seen before because I've actually never played. I've actually played with this card, but I've never seen this card before. So I just had to, sorry, it's a little tangent, but Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you're literally getting drips and information from the cosmic field that is going to make you part of this star, part of the blessings, and you're activating this to inspire others. Don't expect it to be in a way that's methodical. It's going to rely a lot on your faith, but it's going to be something that you did not expect. Remember, the star energy is a Uranus engagement, and it's out of this world for you, Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Next, we have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, babies. Oops. Page of Swords. Whenever we're dealing with the pages, we're dealing with information, knowledge, a message that is coming forward to you. I am drawn here to the Hanged Man. So there is a message that is coming to you, an idea that is coming to you, an idea actually that you've turned your back on, but you're being guided to maybe look back at that idea and look at it from a different perspective. So there's something here that's activating within you, and it's a strong idea that you had. I would even say something having to do with writing, or something that you were writing and it's at its inception stage, at its initial stage. You're really asked to look at it from a different perspective. Don't be afraid to turn things around. Have discernment with the information and the content that you're wanting to bring forward, because once you grab this sword, right? Once you turn around and grab this sword, and this is having to do with a root again, having to do with family matters. You will see something differently that's going to give you a gem, that's going to give you an extra added mystery for you to unsolve moving forward. Beautiful. Let's see what your message is. Taking back your power. I love it. Because again, this felt like turning your back on something that you've actually thought didn't have value or didn't have power, but you're asked to look at it discerningly and to take back your power. I'm really drawn to this the mouth area and the nose, right? To breathe in this new narrative that you've got going. Because once you start looking at something from a different perspective, from a higher perspective, from the perspective, let's say, of a CEO versus the, I don't know, the head of a specific department, but rather the CEO, which is the head of the entire company, you're going to get something that is, it's giving you power that you didn't know you had before because you had discarded it. So this will be interesting to see how it manifests for you, Taurus, moon, or rising signs. Next, we have Gemini. Gemini babies, what do we have here? We've got the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is always asking you to relax. It's asking you to take a deep breath, be secure in your thoughts, be secure in, and I am being drawn to the Hangman here, be secure in what you've already set out and let it marinate. Let it marinate for you. Put it aside. Put these ideas aside. Put your finances and these concerns about your finances or concerns about your new ideas or concerns that you have about some project. Put it aside because as you do, and this is like someone sleeping, right? So as you do and you go into that deep meditative state, that deep sleep, you will be seeing something from a different viewpoint that's going to add value to the information that you've received. So for you, this transition period is really about you letting go of the chatter in your head to feel more secure in your mind and to be able to receive from the ground, right, from the earth, from a stable, secure, grounded area, information that you didn't know you had. And it's going to provide you with a lot of wisdom. So you're gaining a lot of wisdom, those of you with Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising during this full moon period. Let's see what your guidance is telling you. Letting go. You can't make this up, and I don't see any of these cards when I am doing these readings. So for me, it was that letting go of your thoughts, those ideas, projects, etc. Let it go and really allow the swirling of the waters, the swirling of the emotions to kind of give you that different perspective, that different viewpoint. This is a lot of wisdom that you have inside of you, but so long as you were focused on doing, and not resting, because this is asking you to rest, you were not able to let go and you were not able to extrapolate the wisdom that's there waiting for you to grab. Okay? So let it go and release this nightmare information that you had about being stubborn with a specific idea or project. Next, we have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What do we have here? Oop, no, I had it right the first time. The Eight of Wands, fast moving action coming at you. So for those of you with a Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Cancer, there's going to be a lot of activity. There's going to be a lot of sort of movement, and I am being drawn to the Fool card here because the Fool is the only one that's really moving from all of the other cards that are here. But there's going to be a lot of action, a lot of movement towards something new, something creative that you are working on, and it's going to come up really fast. Continue to be this visionary because it's going to come fast and it's going to expand something about your money or your work, your body of work is going to expand, but you've got to take a little bit more risk. So this full moon period is going to teach you how to take a little bit more risk in order to land some of these projects that you've got going. Divine being. Wow, beautiful. When you've got this Eight of Wands energy and you've got the Fool card, remember for me, the Fool always signifies humanity. It always signifies the human being. So perhaps the risk that we need to take here is to acknowledge that you are a divine being. And also, when we're creating, guys, we're not creating alone. We're actually co-creating, right? Co-creating our experiences with the fire, the spirit, the divine essence of who we are. This is that connection that I was talking about earlier with the soul matrix. So you are actually connecting, and it's going to come out really fast, Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising, with this divine being that resides within you. Nice. Next we have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We have strength. Wow, Leo, and that's your card, right? The strength card. So this, for me, is all about you being authentic with yourself. And I'm being drawn to this moon card, right? To be authentic with yourself, to reflect with everyone and with yourself primarily who you truly are, what you truly want. What is it about you that makes you strong? What is it about you that people want to see? What is it about you that you want to showcase and shine? You really have to go deep into the self-reflective mode for this sun, moon, or rising Leo for this particular full moon season. Go deep. Go introspective, because if you're getting the strength card, you know what I always say, if you're getting the strength card, it's because you're going to need it. And 6 months to need the strength card will be a lot smoother if you go into this self-reflective mode where you're looking at what is it that others see in me that I don't see in myself. Okay? Right? Because it's hidden from you. And we've got redemption. Wow. Yeah, this is all about redeeming yourself. Really strong energy here for those of you with Leo. You want to be seen. You want to be acknowledged. You want to be this Leo energy, which perhaps we all see you as, but you don't see yourself as this lioness energy, this Leo energy. And so the redemption that you're seeking is for you to have this new beginning within yourself, to have faith in yourself that you will have redemption, that you will be seen, that you will be acknowledged. Next, we have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Ten of Cups, happy family. Happy, I'm immediately drawn to the star vibration because there's a lot of blessings here that's coming through for those of you with Virgo, with the family, right? And this is about emotional completions for you. This is about really acknowledging that you've put everything you could into the family dynamic, into the family engagement, into the family relationship. And you're now open to receive the blessings for the hard work that you believe you've put into this relationship with, which is a family. And remember, for me, family doesn't just mean biological. It can mean friends, right? It can mean friendships. It can mean lovers. It can mean family within yourself, like what's that relationship you have with yourself that is familial, right? That is a family. Have you improved? Have you worked on it? Because if you have, you're receiving these blessings now during this full moon eclipse season. Beautiful energy. Eternal self. Beautiful. Another engagement where I feel like This could be this recognition of you being an eternal self, right? Of you being this energy of a star system yourself, right? Remember what I spoke about in the beginning. Go back and listen to that. We never acknowledge that part of the family that we have is our soul, is our connection to the soul self. So that soul self is the eternal self. It is this engagement of the eternal self. Wow, a lot of activation with the third eye for those of you sun, moon, or rising Virgo. Sun, moon, or rising Virgo. All right, next we have Libra, sun, moon, or rising. We've got Six of Wands. This is the card of victory. This is, again, I'm being drawn to that blessings card. This is the card of accomplishments. This is the card of self-nurturing. This is the card that you did what you could to nurture yourself. And I love this image of the white horse, right? This white horse coming forward and actually showcasing its, it appears to me, a very powerful engagement, a very powerful connection to the spiritual realms, to the soul self, to that energy that connects as sort of a channeling, even of the star systems here. So for the Six of Wands, for those of you with a sun, moon, or rising Libra sign, there is this desire to connect with the cosmos. And you will accomplish this because the victory card, the Six of Wands card, has appeared here for you. Let's see what your guidance says. It wants to share. Resistance. This is a very interesting card to have with a victory card, which means that I want you to focus on resisting the fear that you have about being a leader, about security, about delivering for yourself, right? The blessings that you know that you deserve. So push against the resistance is what I'm getting here with this card. Push against the fear. Open your heart, right? This beautiful staircase of the heart. Open your heart wider to receive more of the victory that you know that you deserve because you've been working at it. Beautiful. Next we have Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. We've got the Ten of Swords. This feeling of betrayal that you've had in the past is exactly what I want you to release. This is reflection time for you. I want you to release anything that you have that has given you this sense of betrayal. Betrayal in your career, betrayal in your creative pursuits, betrayal in your romantic relationships, betrayals, um, things that you've done that you've betrayed yourself even. I want you to release that, especially with this particular full moon eclipse. Release it, let it go. Let go of all the betrayals so that you can actually reflect upon your leadership qualities, the beginning that is set up for you moving forward is actually very smooth. The waters are not as rocky as you think. You're just fearing this betrayal. And that is a mental construct, mental belief systems that you need to let go because the betrayal is not happening now. The betrayal is something that has happened in the past. That said, keep your eye out and don't betray yourself again moving forward. Let's see. Divine Gateway. I love this because, again, remember what the reading is all about. How will you be transitioning during this full moon eclipse season? And who are the players that are here to assist you? And I think this Divine Gateway is here to assist you to release this heaviness, this burden, this feeling of betrayal, this feeling of you not fulfilling your own promises. The divine gateway is asking you to let it go through that gateway, to put it through the gateway, to put it through the portal and let it go and have those betrayals be in your past rather than set up in your future, or even drawing or pulling in this energy into this future that you're making for yourself. And it is also emotional healing time for you, those of you with Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Let me just drink a little bit of this water. Second. Feeling my throat, feeling a little dry there. All right. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We've got the King of Pentacles. Woo. So you're thinking about a new way to create a new, I'm being pulled to the full here. A new way to create, a new way to do your business. You are actually, you might even get a promotion. You might be even getting a promotion about your career, something of that nature. Also, watch your health during this time period, Sagittarius. Don't get lazy. Keep it moving. Keep exploring new avenues to better activate the healing energies within your body and also your body of work. This is such a fun energy because you're actually, this King of Pentacles energy actually creates the miraculous, where other people, very closely associated, I think, this energy with the Magician, where people are wanting to see what it is that you're going to produce, what it is that you're going to create, what it is that you're going to pull out of your hat, right? Is it a rabbit? Like, I don't know, but definitely you're being encouraged to take the risk, right? This is what the visionary is all about. Take the risk, go out there, explore, see what new opportunities you have, see what new avenues you have to make money, see what new modalities are out there to heal your body. Okay? Wow, amazing. Self-realization. Yeah, for me, I feel like this is about you self-realizing. This is about you exploring more of your magic, exploring more of a different path that you haven't taken before in order to self-realize, in order to feel comfortable with who you are. Nice. And the self-realization, and I love also that there are different paths here, and you see the path, right, of the Fool. There are different paths that you can take in order to self-realize, but make sure it's not an ordinary path, because this is something completely new and different for you. Sun, Moon, or Rising, Sagittarius. Okay, so the next one is Capricorn. What do we have here? We have the Ace of Cups. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It just feels like a blessing to me. It just feels like something from the stars. It feels like a culmination and also a beginning of a new emotional experience that is a little bit out of this world. And I feel like you finally have a lot of peace inside of you, because I see this as peace doves, right, with the wings. This particular deck, the artist decoded, is really about us decoding what you see. So I love this deck, but that's what I see here. You're finally feeling a sense of peace, and you're finally getting to reap the rewards of the hard work that you've done in the past by engaging in this new relationship. And that new relationship can be a new relationship with yourself. There is a lot of blessings here coming forward for you. And when I see that ace and also that one energy, this is very much about a new beginning for you, but it's a beginning with a lot of blessings. What do we have here? Shadow work. All right. So it's letting me know, yeah, your emotional engagement, your new emotional connectivity, these blessings are coming if you do this shadow work. Remember the inquiry, how will you transition? You will transition into the ace and ace of cups and this blessings, so long as you do the shadow work, so long as you're looking at the family dynamic. I'm saying family because that's what's coming through, the family dynamic and how it either went really left or what you can do to improve the family dynamic and engage with them or the family or yourself, whatever, or doing the shadow work in a new way where you are connecting with that experience emotionally so that you can receive the blessings. Nice. Shadow work. All right, last and not least, we have Aquarius. Let's see what we have for Aquarius. The Hierophant. Wow, this is really big because you're here to teach, and you're here to teach the masses, and you're here to teach not only the masses, not only a group of people, right? But you're here to teach something spiritual. And that spiritual teaching comes from a lot of hard work and a lot of self-reflection and a lot of I am being drawn here to the moon, and a lot of introspective work. And this teaching that you're doing is next level, right? Because the Hierophant is sort of like that Pope energy and not that you're going to be a Pope, but it does have that energy of people are looking up to you, people are respecting you, but it's only because you've done the hard work, you've done the self-reflection, you've done the perspective that is the higher perspective of who you are first before you go out and teach others this knowledge that you have. And the knowledge that you have to share with people is actually of a feminine nature. It's actually like that mother nature, that mother maternal energy. Like, what is it even about your own mother that you have learned, that you have transmuted? Remember our key word here, transition, right? So what is it from your own mother's lunacy, perhaps, that you have transitioned and made into a grounded experience, right? Like sometimes our mothers hold the keys to our spiritual enlightenment, and we sometimes disconnect from that and think it's our father when it's actually our mother who's helping us decode the spiritual teachings. That was tapping into someone there. Universal Mother. Oh my God. Aquarius, I'm telling you, I swear, I do not look at any of these cards at all. But this teaching that you have does not come from the father line. It's coming from the mother line. It's coming from the universal mother. It's coming from this reflection of her own emotional turmoils to clear it up so that it doesn't happen to you again. And this is coming for you in this full moon eclipse season, next 6 months. You are teaching from that universal mother and your own maternal experiences. And you're teaching the spiritual knowledge to the masses. And we're all going to be looking up to you. Beautiful energy. Wow. There's a lot going on collectively, right? There's a lot of manifestation, inspiration, um, taking what was that one? Taking back your own power, letting go, divine being, redemption, eternal self, resistance, divine gateway, self-realization, shadow work that we all do still have to do collectively, people. And then we get to tap into this universal mother that we've all been waiting for, this divine feminine rising. But as you can see, before we get to her, there's so much still for us collectively to deal with, including most importantly with an eclipse season, letting go and doing the shadow work. Super important. I know, I know, I know. Oh my God. Every time we think we're done with shadow work, there's a little bit more we got to do. And also embrace that that's part of humanity, right? Every time we turn a corner, every time we go down a path, there's going to be things that we just haven't experienced. And it's going to really sort of give us a gift and an opportunity to look through that experience and see, where else can I tweak it? Where else can I make it better? Right? Where else can I make it sacred? Where else can I make it spiritual? Right? Like all of these things happen because if you're doing, if you're living the human experience correctly, there shouldn't be a moment where you're in a space of stagnation, right? You're always going to transition into someone or something else. It's just part of nature. Just look at nature, right? Mother Nature, look at her. She goes into seasons, for crying out loud. Yet we as human beings, we resist change so much. And it's like, unless we start sort of merging with her teachings, we really cannot expect to engage or interface with or create or manifest in our world the divine feminine. We can't, because we're resisting change. We're resisting the cycles. We're resisting even the moon cycles timeline. We're resisting the experiences of the season, right? We can't. This is the shadow work that we're being asked to do. And this is why I feel like they're very close connected here to the wheel. It's because it's the shadow work that we have to do. And she's like, okay, I'm watching you. Are you willing? Right? Are you willing? Or are you going to turn your back on me again? Let's not. All right? Let's not. All right. That's it. That's all I've got for you guys. All I've got. That was a lot, but stay safe. Keep positive. Give me a thumbs up. It's the moon's full moon eclipse season. So this energy here is for the next 6 months. It's not going to happen overnight. Start observing, journal. I keep a journal, and it's really uncanny, some of the information that I receive from just these readings. All right. I love you. Take care. And again, stay safe, everyone. Bye.